Picture this. A small country, somewhere deep in the boonies of Africa. You know nothing about it. Honestly, neither I do. But the drama that unfolded there recently beats anything that you have seen on Netflix. People literally dug graves for themselves and their children with their own hands. And all of this is thanks to the actions of one giant country. A country whose president's names alone gives Europeans a nervous tick. Grab your popcorn, things are about to get wild. Burkina Faso is a small country in the heart of Africa. It used to be a French colony, but now it's trying to be independent. But there is a tiny problem. No, seriously, it's tiny, I'm not exaggerating. But the scale of the absolute shit shows it creates is enormous. I'm talking about mosquitoes, specifically about the malaria they carry. Roughly every 40 seconds, another person gets infected. Imagine how many people will struck down while you're watching this video. And the problem with malaria is that you can't just get it over with once. It doesn't give you lifelong immunity. In fact, the average resident here contracts malaria more than 20 times in their life. Oh no. Another again. Another malaria. When does this nightmare end? But it's only for those who manage to survive. It's lethal shit, especially for little ones. Up to 80% of malaria deaths are the children under the age of 5. Adults fare better, but still, about 30% of the population dies from it every single year. But don't think that the world just abandoned Africans to their fate in this mosquito kingdom, though. 10 years ago, Bill Gates gathered teams of scientists and launched a project in Burkina Faso called Target Malaria. Love him, hate him, Gates is a controversial figure, but the core idea was simple and aimed at saving lives. Use genetic engineering to tell the mosquito population so there are far more males than females. Eventually, the species would just die out. And it was a brilliant plan. It took 10 years to bring it to life. Every step, every stage of the project was meticulously documented and logged. You might ask, why the hell don't we just poison the lot of them? Well, we can't. Mosquitoes have developed a resistance to pesticides. We have been trying to wipe them out for decades, but they only grew stronger. And nowadays, it takes chemicals so toxic, they would send a human to the grave before they would kill the bugs. So, picture this. After 10 years of creating genetically modified mosquitoes, on August 11, 2025, they released a first tiny batch. And a week later, a full-blown raid special forces stormed the lab, searches, fingerprints, the whole work. They literally looked at the scientists' asses to make sure that no one was hiding a mosquito there. In the end, they were all branded as sorcerers and kicked out the country. But it doesn't stop here. A special unit was sent to the village where the mosquitoes were released to wipe out everyone last of them. I know, you are thinking, what the hell is that? It's simple. Someone had been brainwashing the locals for a long time, convincing them that it was a biological weapon. They were told that the goal was to poison everyone and drain men of their fertility. A little thief. It's hard enough to get some actions around here once a year, but now you are coming for my man's energy too? Basically, it's all Satan or Freemasons. Honestly, I can't keep up with the latest Russian playbook.
What is your genetic code?
Yes, it was all the work of Russian propaganda machine. They use AI to charge out thousands of fake Facebook posts telling locals that Bill Gates was using them as lab rats. Thousands of bots accounts convincing parents that science was enemy, effectively condemning their children to certain death. That's why the mobs came for scientists. Actually, surprised it's not microchipping yet. No, seriously, Russians called Bill Gates a demon since early 2000s. Look at this. The lead Russian propagandist on a federal channel talking about his own book.
The book is called The Gospel According to Solovyov. Why is it called The Gospel According to Solovyov? Tell us. Because the book is written from the perspective of a demon. And it's called the Gospel because it's the good news for the demon, who is the coming of the Antichrist. It was interesting to show that there are two demons in this book. The first demon is Vladimir Solovyov, the second demon is Bill Gates, and they serve the Antichrist.
But during the pandemic rhetoric shift, in Russia, Bill Gates was no longer a demon. It became an evil Freemason. Satanic rituals were replaced by a global plot to microchip humanity. Articles started pumping up claiming Gates engineered COVID-19 specifically for chipping. By the way, Russia banned all European and American vaccines. Shortly after, the pro-Russian Ibrahim Teodori took power. Major outlets like the New York Times began directly linking this anti-scientist wave to a Russian disinformation campaign. Genetically engineered mosquitoes could have saved lives, but it was far easier for them to believe that Bill Gates is an evil Freemason experimenting on humans than it was to protect their own children from a grave at 5 years old.